Welcome back. This is going to be something different. I've done one of these before on one of my older maps, Combat Puzzle 2. No, actually Combat Puzzle Test 1. However, this is a newer map which some people liked, it appears. So, I might as well do an explanation of the gameplay on this one as well. So, let us begin. Alright. So, the idea around this area is pretty simple, really. If you go out too far without knowing what's there, then you will get attacked by chain gunners. It's very easy, actually, so you really shouldn't have a problem. This area is also very easy. I designed it so that you would do that. What I just did. And now I can mow down the sky. This is the first area. It's not too difficult, but it has some difficulties to it. I like chopping down one cyber and getting the other one to kill all the imps for me. Of course, you can just run out, but that's only because I forgot to fix that problem. So now you've got two directions to go. I designed this one first. But once you walk here, you've got all these guys. Of course, they're the guys from Scythe 2. They can be quite deadly if you aren't expecting them. And depending on the situation, they can be quite deadly regardless. I got a little too close to the pillar that time for it to register that I was trying to aim at the Revenants. So this fight. Some people didn't figure out the strategy for this fight. It's pretty simple, actually. These 5 Cyber Demons, well, Cyber Juniors or whatever, miniature Cyber Demons come in. You want to get them to infights. Looks like I'll have to try again. Essentially, you want to get them to infight here, and then you want to sort of U-strafe around. Now that's a problem, isn't it? Really, the biggest problem here is stray rockets like that one, which nearly killed me instantly. Once you're given the opportunity, kill the pain elementals. They are the greatest threats. Oh, I screwed that up on the last second. Try not to hit the cybers. It tends to get them pissed off at you. At this point, I should be able to win unless I make a stupid mistake. Like that. This one section's taking longer than it ought to. Once I get to the end of the map, I'll explain how I designed everything. This time I shouldn't be able to screw myself over. But let's put that to the test. So, no matter which way you go, it'll always have the sort of setup like this, where you have a fight and then you have 3 switches to exit. That's how it works on both sides, although only that side has the ambush. This area you want to go over here, and then hide behind here. That usually gets all the Archviles onto the Afrits and Cybers. And then you want to sort of get the Incubi to fight everything that's left. I find this area to be significantly easier than the other area. It's unusual that a Cyber Demon is one of the last. Usually some of the Afrits are the ones alive. Also, this music, some people express their liking to it. It's from Unreal Tournament. It's called Razorback. I think it's quite an enjoyable tune. This area is the final arena. Essentially, there are some interesting strategies here. And they all involve one thing, killing the Archviles first. I saw somebody came up with the idea of pre-firing, although that time I screwed it up by failing to keep the button pressed. And it makes things very consistent here, if you do it right. See? That is the exits. Now to explain the map itself, how I came up with the fights, and the shape. Let's start at the beginning, which is here. So, this was the first area I designed, the center. This little area. This was me just getting adjusted to the textures and figuring out how to draw such curves as these. I decided early on that I wanted this staircase over here to go out to a sort of area of some sort, which would split off into two paths that would circle around the center, and then the exit would be around here. Which is exactly what I did. One of the main things I wanted was the ability to look down at the center from the sides. And you can do it here, as well as here. Sort of just balconies. You can't really do it here, but if this was a little bit shorter, you could. But that's not the point of this area. So, the fights themselves. This fight... Actually, I'll go in order of how I designed them. I designed this fight first. Essentially, it was a bit different when I started it. I didn't have Aphrits or the Cyber Juniors, or those evil Marines. Instead, I had a Cyber Demon spawn here and a Cyber Mastermind spawn on this side instead of the two Cyber Juniors. The imps were the same, though. The idea was that you would get the Cyber Demon to shoot the Mastermind and they'd fight it out, and you would hide around over here using their infighting to kill all the imps, or at least a decent amount of them. Then you would kill the stragglers yourself. However, when I added the Aphrit Cyber Juniors and Evil Marines, that changed things. So I put two Cyber Juniors, and since they can't infight, I just decided to balance it around you killing one of them and having the other kill all these guys. Then I designed this area. Once again, this area, I did not, well, I think it was around here that I actually added the custom enemies. The Evil Marines teleport in here. I think one was around here, and another over here. I can take a look on here. Yeah, one teleports in here, and one here. I decided to have them spread out, and I put Revenants on top so that you'd have maybe just a little bit more to dodge. Although they're pretty irrelevant, so there's no real point to having them. Evil Marines are very good for ambush situations, because they're very fast, so they can surprise the player and kill them before they notice what's happening, unless they have a good reaction time. That's why I use them for ambushes. And then this area. Originally I had, I think, 3 Cybers over here, and a bunch of Revenants, and the Pain Elementals. The reason I changed it to Cyber Juniors is because the 2 Cybers left over here would always have a lot of health, and I wanted them to have less health. So this is what I did, I changed them to Cyber Juniors and modified the Revenant count. This way, things were able to work a little bit better. And of course, the strategy of getting them to infight was integral from the start. Now this area, I decided that I wanted to use Aphrits, and I wanted to have a horde of Archviles come in here. And I also wanted a third enemy somewhere over here, which I eventually decided to use Cyber Demons for. Although, not really eventually, more like rather quickly. The idea is that since there's a lot of crossfire, it would be able to get all the Archviles to infight rather quickly. Since they'd be coming from over here, they would walk in this direction, and if I get the Aphrits, which are over here, and the Cyber Demons over here, which are infighting, they would just walk into the crossfire, and most of them would get targeted by that. Then I decided to add in Mancubi so that you would have a little bit more to deal with. And you wouldn't just be good once all of the infighting died down. I realized I needed a fourth enemy when I realized that all of the enemies would kill each other here. Like all of them, they'd all be dead. Which I can't allow that. It makes things too easy. And less interesting. Now this area. The design for this area I just sort of came up with in my head. It was one of those just spontaneous ideas that I had. However, the Archviles were originally on the outside 4 areas. I moved them to the inside because when they were on the outside, it just seemed too luck-based. And that's pretty much it. Of course, we've got the usual plasma side and rocket launcher split. However, the plasma gun isn't very useful here, and the rocket launcher isn't too useful over here. So it doesn't really matter which one you take first. It just depends on your preference of fights to use. Oh, another thing that I should mention. There is a glide that I intentionally implemented into this map. Right here. This is a glide. You can glide through here. I'm sure I could, but I don't think that I want to do that right now. Oh wait, guess I just did. So yeah, you can glide to get the BFG early if you want. And then come back. If you're fast enough, then I'm guessing that could be a good time save. If you were trying to speedrun this map. But yeah, I already proved that you can glide through here, so I don't really think I need to do it again. Yeah, whatever. I think it's easier to glide from this side. I know that glides are directional, so it's easier to do it from certain sides than others. So yeah. If anybody wants to take advantage of that, feel free to. I want you to. Other than that, it's pretty much done for today. I've got nothing else to say about this map. So yeah, goodbye, and enjoy your day.